So our guest speaker for today is Sharad Kulkarni. Sharad is an accomplished painter who has been doing paintings in watercolor, acrylic, oil, and ink for 20 years, and he has won many awards for painting and been published and has published his paintings in various magazines and galleries. He has his own online art gallery at ICC and has a presentation for us today.
So without further ado, we'll introduce Sharad. Go ahead.
Thanks for introduction. My name is Sharad Kulkarni again. So I've been doing paintings since my childhood, and it's my passion. And I later realized it's one of the therapy to keep mind in a very sound status, and basically it is a tool for well-being. Anyway, I pursued that as a hobby and passion, and kept doing it, kept improving it, and there was no commercial benefit to it. Sometimes it was, but it was always just a companion with me that will give me wonderful pleasure and self-esteem, I would say. That was the most important part. So today I have put together my presentation in about two different sections. So one, I will go ahead with PowerPoint presentation, and I will begin that now. So art and well-being, and this is typically, I can choose any kind of a font, but I have taken this purposely. Art is a different thing, and well-being, we are leading towards it. Art is there is no definite shape to it, and art can be anything. So in the search of good life, so I'm just coming to the basic, I would say, nervous system, or how our life and existence is around, is one thing, which is good life. People migrate, people educate, people try to make connections, everything just because one thing, to have good life. And the good life is defined as many things, but these are the prominent things: a pleasure-filled life, a good life, and meaningful life. So this is the quest, and everybody is always searching for it. So if you are in the colleges, you are trying to go for Ivy Leagues. If you are going for better research and try to get into the great job or business, why? Because I know you may not agree or something, everybody wants better lives, right? So this is what the quest is for. So how do we measure meaningful life? So let me come up with a term called PERMA, and PERMA is just abbreviation of five main components. So it's a building block of well-being, PERMA. So P is standing for positive emotions, E for engagement, R for relationships, M for meaning, and lastly A for achievements and accomplishments. So let's go over all of these one after another. So positive emotions. Positivity is the tool for more resilience and life satisfaction. The building blocks for positivity are joy, gratitude, interest, serenity, hope, pride, amusement, inspiration, and awe. You may easily agree with that. Research show that the people who experience positive emotions in the ratio of 3 to 1, whereas 3 is the positive and 1 is the negative emotion, foster greater thriving. Now, this is absolutely independent of what happens to you. It is not dependent on the situations. How you perceive the situation, how do you deal with the situation, what goes between your ears, I mean, in your brain, that matters than that of what are the perception coming from outside are. So how you deal with the situation matters, and that's called positivity. So always they say think positive, think positive, think I would say optimistic, try to find optimistic ways. Of course, that thoughts will uh, in turn into the actions, and definitely will come out of it. So that was P. E is engagement. When you are truly engaged in a situation, task, or a project, we experience the state of flow. The time seems to stop. We are optimally challenged, and we lose our sense of self. We concentrate intensely on that present. So you must have done a couple of projects in your school and college and everywhere. The passionate, when you're passionate about some project and you have a great partnership and all that, so you really feel that those couple of hours you started with for maybe 2 hours, and then 7 8 hours are lost. You're late in the midnight, you still feel that you're not hungry, you're not thirsty because that project is so interesting. So that's called engagement. Another, I would say, example of the engagement is if you watch a movie on a cell phone, yes, you can watch, but there are a lot of distractions. The same movie, you can watch it on the TV, little less distractions. But the same movie, if you watch it in a big movie theater, right? So they ask you to stop your cell phones or mute them or keep it away. And everybody is really just focusing on that movie, the music, the dialogues, the story, and all that. So that's called engagement, how you're fully focused on one thing. And the more we experience this type of engagement, more likely we are experiencing well-being. So that's called engagement. Relationships, very importantly. We are social beings. We are not like tigers who like to be solo somewhere. We are like maybe lions, pride, or the animals which are in the herd. They cannot live alone. So humans are social beings. So good relationships are core to our thriving. People who practice having meaningful, positive relationships with others are happier than those who do not. So research has shown multiple times that the greatest predictor of happiness is meaningful relationships. Not only that, people who live 103, 105 years old, how they live is not because their jobs, not because of money, the cars they own, the houses they have, or the property they have, but the good relationships, happy relationships. So always keep connecting to people. That's what the relationship is. Meaning. Now, meaning is a big word. Meaning is why am I here? What is the cause of my life? What I can do to the society. I'm not just a person came and person went. I have to be someone who is adding positive towards making everybody's life better. That's called meaning. So meaning comes as a serving as a bigger cause. So when we understand why, it's easier to take hurts and frustration of life and turn into the pathways to meaning and life direction. So you must have seen some of the people in the history, they have started great revolutions. So they not only gave their personal life, but the family life. They have taken hurts, they have been into jail and all that because they found a meaning in doing something. They had a cause for their life, and they will go from this planet Earth when they have done that cause. That's called meaning. And lastly, the achievement. Our brain likes to feel competent in something that is important for us. Achievement is a mastering skill. So accomplishing a valuable goal, succeeding in some competitive event. So if you are in maybe if they call you on the school kids are called on PE outside on the ground, and they are asked to run for 100 meters, right? So it's a random event, but one of the kids runs faster than others, and he feels that they're really great. Even though it's a small I would say event, he will remember for years that I came first because it's an achievement, it's accomplishment which the brain always is striving for, looking for, and it will remember for him forever. So that's called perma. So how you unleash your perma is go with what moves you, find your passion, what you love the best, and this you feel like this is my cause of life. Practice it daily. A small micro movements lead to the big changes for sure. And do what you say you are going to do. I mean, don't just be a speaking person and acting person differently. What you say, try to do the same. Experiment and get curious about it. And find like-minded people, the perma like-minded people, so that it would be easier for to get the help from them and move ahead. So that was, I would say, my definition of well-being and how to achieve it as a high-level picture. Now, art is one of that. I'm not saying art and well-being is only connection. Well-being is a bigger cause for which art is one of the tools we are using. You can go for sports as well. You can have any kind of other hobby as well. So now we will go to the second phase of it, how art helps for well-being. So we will understand this. Art therapy, what it does is it encourages creativity. Any art, it could be sculpting, it could be dancing, making music, singing, or acting in a movie. It encourages creativity that I will do something better or different than others. It facilitates communication. Of course, it is most of the time is a team activity. facilitates the socialization, promotes health. It provides a way to move through the stress and loss and find a personal strength. We are surrounded by so many expectations, you can see, wherever we go. It could be school, colleges, businesses, or it could be jobs. You are given some targets you have to achieve. So when you achieve it, it's great. But if you don't, it's a stress. So what happens is the stress always puts you down. So you have to find a way to come out of it, and the art is a great tool for it. Provides a place to promote your self-esteem and share the wisdom. So art helps this way. Art therapy promotes the health. It can reduce the blood pressure, anxiety, pain, and it will give you energy. You must have seen that many a times. When you are doing some artistic thing, you will feel pleasure, and definitely these bad things will go away and good things will come your way. Artwork is a permanent reminder, a very important slide here, that you can learn something new all the time. You can adapt to the change, solve the problem, help another, get help, and very importantly, accept the imperfections. I'll give you the example. When I start my painting, there is something in the mind not on the paper yet, right? So when I draw that, take the paints and start doing, there is some lack between my actual maybe paints and the colors I have, and my painting really goes little bit starts going towards sideways than what I had envisioned. And at the end of the day, I complete the painting. People like it too, but it's not the painting I meant to really draw and paint. But this is actually a learning for me that life is like that. So sometimes there are imperfections, but you have to make something out of it. You must have seen there are people who have achieved greatest success, like they have been Olympic gold medalists, they have been Grammy Award winners, they are Oscar Award winners. If you ask them, are you perfect? They will not say they are perfect. They could have done a little better, more, but still they got it because they strived hard. So art is this way telling you and helping you that imperfections are fine because art is human, but still you can do something different and better. So now it's a time for questions. I have purposely taken this picture. This is a human brain. Left hand side is a logical, scientific calculation kind of a brain. Right hand side is the artistic brain. Sometimes they help each other. You must have seen the most entrepreneurs, their brain, the right hand side brain helps the left hand side brain, and then that's the way they come out of some very out of the box, I would say, very innovative success stories, and then they implement into the business. So that's where I am. But before we go to the questions, let me stop sharing and share a couple of my paintings. So this is the painting I have done for ICC again. This is again, I would say, like Lake Tahoe or Shasta kind of a area. Some serene picture and the clouds and all that. When you draw clouds and mountains, snow and all that, your eyes are trying to come out what they have seen. This is actually imaginary picture, not made from any actual photograph. So this is where brain is really striving hard to what it had seen and perceived, trying to bring it onto the paper. And this is a great exercise which if you do it, even though there is no good and bad or imperfect or wrong. So it is always great, I would say. So keep doing that and you will get great pleasure. So this is modern art. I would say this is abstract painting. You can call it a peacock, but it's not exactly a peacock. It could be, I don't know, some star formation as well. So I'll just go through a couple of paintings. The painting, basically, I always believe that the painting has a communication back to you. This painting communicates. It should communicate not always joy, but this does that. How the cloud formation in the evening is happening. The two sailboats are going, and you are just seeing as a person, a spectator from the shore. So this is me with one of my recently done paintings for ICC. Yet another one. So this is also imaginary painting, but I try to bring out there is the rays coming from the cloudy sky and how they fall on this water. So uh, it stretches your imagination for sure and creativity. So this is the same painting I put it in a frame, two people walking there in the fall season, the road like that. Another sunset is here. This is all watercolor. You can do it in watercolor, acrylics, oil paints, pencil shading, and nowadays I have got addicted. I would say it's a positive addiction, not any health problems with it. Doing the paintings on the phone. I have Android phone, and I do the paintings. There is an app called Sketchbook Pro. If you download that, it's free, and there are so many styluses, pens, and colors. You can try that. This is though done with actual, I would say, watercolor. So this is done maybe not more than 15 minutes, but it gives that effect of how the cloudy sky and the sun is peeking through. Again, Venice, Italy. I'm just trying to get the evening, how the Venice would be looking. The body of the water, the reflections, and the far, far away buildings and birds. It's fun because when you go again there and you're watching it, now you absorb more because you know what it takes to do the evening sky, what it takes to draw water, and you will have more appreciation towards it. And definitely, you will be a better person as a viewer, and you'll be trying harder to do it on the paper. Again, the cloudy sky. Maybe I don't like the full sun. I like cloudy skies. So it's more challenge and it's more beauty out there. Similar painting, little brighter day. Uh, Sailboats again with far away clouds and seagulls reflection in the water. This is done by the night painting. In the night, basically, what you are supposed to do is you cannot use on this maybe sailboats. You have to use the knife and the paint directly. You cannot use brush, but it gives a more textured outlook than that of simple brush. Another, this is a dry pastel painting. It has its own strength and weaknesses, so you can use that. This is some Spanish city with watercolor, the soft pastel. This is totally done on my cell phone. So this is, I would call it a colored sketch, and you can do this in 40 seconds maximum. I wish I can show you, but if it was one-on-one session, I could have shown you on big screen. Um, this is again soft pastel. Soft pastel is the only medium in which you do the mixing of the colors on the paper itself. Because the chalks, you put it on the paper and you just rub your hand over there or the finger, and that's how you mix the colors here. So on the other mediums, you have a palette in which you mix the colors. So soft pastel is actually, it's not like your oil pastel. Oil you cannot mix it. Soft pastels you can. This is yet another e-painting, I would call it as, done onto the actual cell phone rather than, but I just mounted it. This is again e-painting. Um, it looks almost like a real watercolor, but it is not. It is just done while I was waiting for my daughter in Kumon for 45 minutes, sitting there with the waiting parents, and I was one of them. So I did this painting there. So these are a couple of my paintings. I will just show another set of paintings. Let me share that screen just a moment.
What's your favorite medium to use, or what are some colors that you find yourself using the most often?
There are four mediums that I work with. One is watercolor. Everybody must have done that in the school. It is a mandatory. Then is the soft pastel, which is the chalks, which are soft chalks. And then is oil paint and acrylic. So out of which watercolor is my favorite because that is the hardest. You wouldn't believe. People think that oil paint is hardest. No, oil paint is actually very easy medium because you can do as many mistakes in there. If you make a portrait in oil paint looking this way, you can make it that way without any error because oil paint lets you, it's a great fault tolerance built in there. You can go layer upon layer and oil paint allows that. Watercolor is very, I would say, it doesn't give you any excuse. Wrong is wrong. If you do something wrong in watercolor, you cannot fix it easily. So watercolor still is my favorite medium. But nowadays my Sketchbook Pro is a medium because this both I have done it in Sketchbook Pro. Thank you.
Of course.
So I will keep taking questions as we move ahead because this is just a flow rather than a lecture. I don't like
Of
that
course.
way. So I'm just moving ahead. This is just drawn as a sailboat in very few seconds. Some waves. I wanted to make like a t-shirt logo with this. I hope I'm successful. Just wanted to be minimalist approach. So this is, I would say, maybe some Italian city or village where people are just dining out like that. Modern art, a horse, I don't know. This is again, you find out the meaning out of it. Because abstract painting, I mean, artists may think something, and the spectators might have some another um, meaning out of it. That's another one. This is just another sailboat. I like them because they have very various colors and they have little, I would say, more artistic value in them. So I love those. um, this is similar like that again, but the reflection is different, the style is different, the gradient of the color is different. Now this is easily possible with the software like Sketchbook Pro. If you try it, it is so easy that you will see why didn't you do it before. This is another abstract. You cannot call it like a botanical leaf or something, but I'm just adding anything that this is again where artist and the reality is taking different directions. Art adds something different than what camera cannot reach. So this is one of the examples there. Another yet another is like a tree, but it is an artistic way of saying how the tree. It could be a book cover, maybe some poems or something, and we can have this kind of a cover. This is fall colors. Very easy to do it. It looks complicated, but very easy to do it with another Sketchbook Pro done on my cell phone. Another abstract, and lastly, this is yet another Sketchbook Pro one. It's like a vase and some flowers.